Hey everybody, I decided to do a quick live stream this morning for no other reason than I can and I feel like it. I get a lot of questions about um, algorithms and social media algorithms in particular, and how do you keep up with them all? Because I do have accounts on multiple platforms. And more importantly, how do I keep posts going all the time, right? Because if you watch, I post at times a day when I'm probably asleep. And I post across three or four different platforms. So, how do you do that, and how do you keep your posts getting seen? Well, I asked that question to myself 10 years ago. And I was like, this is a lot of work to kind of get seen across a bunch of platforms. And there's a couple of tools out there that help you, but I don't really like any of them. So I went ahead and built my own, which is now out there for people to use. So let's go ahead and show it off. This was sort of the result of a couple of years of work. And what we do is we keep track of all the algorithms for you, um, so that you don't have to do all that. And we'll email out information about the algorithms as they shift on how they expect you to post things and be seen. We even give you a nice little analytics section. This is my company, by the way. I'm the founder. If you want to say they're sponsoring me, you can say that because I own the company. It's called One for All Social, which is on the web at o4a.com. I should have thought that through before I went ahead and logged in before I started my live stream. But hey, it's what you do. You're allowed to do this stuff. o4a.com. This is us. You get 2 months for free. We don't ask for your credit card, so you could just use it if you want to for 2 months without giving us a credit card, which means you're under no risk of getting charged without realizing it. This is the platform when you log in. You can add social accounts across any of those that you see there. Snapchat. The only thing you can use our system for on Snapchat is to run ads. So you can run paid ads through us on Snapchat, but we don't let you post to that one because it works a little bit differently than most. But we do have some cool tools that actually help get your message seen. And I want to walk you through one because we recently made a huge change to it. So if you go in here to create a post, and you say, hey, look, I'm going to send a post, and instead of just sending it to Twitter or X, I know, I'm sorry, or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or wherever, I want to send it to these three simultaneously. So I'm going to send it to Instagram, Threads, and X. And what I'm doing is posting a picture of this book right here because I happen to like those books. Success of the Dragonlance books led TSR to do a bunch in Forgotten Realms. And if you're a D&D fan, you know Forgotten Realms, I'm sure. If not, it's one of those that you might want to look at. I enjoy it. I enjoy Kryn a little bit better because I kind of like Dragonlance, but hey, that's just me. The second trilogy is Icewind Dale. The first book is this one, The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore. I actually have some of his books autographed. I'll be putting those up later on. Now, this particular one, I don't know the cover artist off the top of my head. Normally, I kind of do. Larry Elmore, I should know. Cover art by Larry Elmore. That one I should have figured out because his art usually stands out, and that one seems to do it. Now, why is all this important, right? So let's go ahead and say, I want to upload an image, right? You can upload a bunch of images at once. You can upload just one at a time. I'm just going to upload one. Instagram makes you crop. We have a crop tool that lets you do that. And you can put it in any of the acceptable Instagram crop ratios. So go ahead and do that. Now, let's say because these platforms are all different, you don't want to send the same message to everybody. See this little button here that says edit by platform. It'll let you go through and say, okay, now we have the crux of it, the same sort of basic message for everybody. But Instagram, maybe you want a little bit more. And that Instagram account that I'm sending it to focuses on art. Art on these book covers is simply amazing, especially the earlier ones. To consider, it was before a lot of this was done by computer. Late 80s, you didn't have computers that would do this kind of stuff. So this is all, hand art, which is amazing to me. So, okay, that's what's going to go to Instagram. So let's go to next. Well, this is what's going to go to Threads. Right now, what it's doing is the system's checking to make sure your image meets all the requirements for Instagram. It does take a second to do that, so we'll check that for you. Hey, Threads folks, follow me if you want to see more Dungeons and Dragons. Ooh, I am way over on word count. So if you look right here, it actually tells you the character count that you're allowed, and I am way over on Threads. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I'm 296. Okay. Or you can also use this little tool right here, this little auto hashtag tool. One of my favorites. All right. So let's use this auto hashtag tool. This is the bread and butter of the system. This will help you get seen by more things than you can imagine. So what it's doing is it's reading my post and it's saying what hashtags are people looking at, not what hashtags are people are using, what hashtags are people looking at to actually get their stuff seen. And it's reading my post to actually figure that out. So we're talking about books, we're talking about, other things, Forgotten Realms. But if the longer this blue line, the more people are actually looking at that post, that hashtag per hour. Now, Threads only allows really one. It doesn't allow tons of them, so I'm just going to pick one. And over on Twitter, they're now actually X. Keep forgetting that. It is actually downgrading you for using the hashtag. So we're using it as more as keywords. You want to make sure that keyword is in there, which is already in there. So I'm not worried about it on X. Plus, all you guys on X know me anyway. So, all right, so let's go next. And that's what it's going to look like on Twitter. You click next again, and it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like across all platforms. By the way, this particular part will be on mobile by the end of next week, but everything else that the system does is on mobile. This is just new, so we're still spinning out to the mobile platforms. Now, this gives you an option to post it all now, or you can schedule it in the future. You can also set it up as a repeating post if you want to, so it goes out every Friday or whatever. I've been doing a bunch of these, and I filled every time slot I have up until January 7th, and let's just call it 12:05 p.m. So this post will actually not go out until then. But at that point in time, it'll actually go out to all of those platforms and post simultaneously everywhere for everyone to see. Now, there you go. It is scheduling it. And in a second here, okay, great. You've been scheduled. It's ready to go. Now let's go look at my scheduler. You have a monthly, a weekly, and a daily view. I'm going to look at daily. So today I've got a bunch of posts already scheduled to go out. Some that I already have. Green are posts that went out. Blue are off in the future somewhere. But we got a lot of stuff going out today. And look, it's across all platforms. So I'm sending these things to X and Instagram and Threads all at the same time. You can go in and look at your posts and see what's going on. There's another thing that's your best friend. Okay. If you go in here to analytics, and let's just take Threads, you can look at how your posts are doing. I'm relatively new to Threads, so I'm still growing over there. But if you look at the number of views I've had from December 6th to January 5th, I've had 3,600. Well, in the previous reporting period, I had 2,800. So I'm growing, right? I'm getting more views over there. That's a good thing. You can see what your peak days were. You can also dig into your individual posts, and you can do this on any of the platforms. And you can say, okay, let's sort it by who got the most views. So which post got the most views? Well, it's a picture of a stamp that from my stamp collection that I posted. It was electronic mail. My dad was anyway, long story. You can look at by replies, quotes, whatever you want to do. And you can do that across all platforms, which is kind of cool, right? But this insight section is the one that really matters. So what this insight section does, it says, what's your best data post? Not what's the best data post on Threads. You'll see a lot of people out there, a lot of companies will say, oh, the best data post is Tuesday at 3. But that's a general answer, right? What I'm saying, what our system does is it looks at your account and says, what's the best data post for you? Not for Harry, not for Susan, not for Aaron, no, for you. What's the best data post? What's the best type of post? What's the best frequency to post? How many times a day? And it gives you these data down here that says, hey, look, here's where you see the most engagement. You notice that word there, that X is really starting to like engagement. Well, the more engagement you get, the better, right? and it'll give you a bunch of info on that. The only system we don't get analytics for right now is X, because they keep changing the back end and it all was coming in as garbage. We will have that resolved by February, assuming that X stops changing the way they do their analytics. But if you go look over at Instagram or any of the others, you get the same insights. You can also run your paid ads through here. This account is too small for me to get those insights because it's relatively new. Let's go look at my YouTube channel. I'm falling off on views. My comments are up. My total likes are up. My dislikes are up. Okay. Some people don't like me. That's cool. It gives you information about your audience. My top gender is male. But it also gives you insights, right? So, of course, video is going to win on YouTube, but once daily is best, and it tells you which day. So, it's a pretty neat little system. You also have this nice little image gallery that you can store all your stuff in and just pull it back up later. And you can see I'm a nerd amongst nerds here. I'm loaded bunches of books. You can do photo albums or favorites, whatever. But that hashtag tool and the analytics are really what I drive, I think, being able to grow a social media platform. So if you want to grow, there's all kinds of tricks, there's all kinds of tools, there's all kinds of companies out there, there's all kinds of advice out there on what's best to do, and keeping track of those algorithms are important. And we do send out emails all the time telling people about, hey, here's an algorithm shift, there's an algorithm shift. The company's social platforms also have all that information on them. But that's what I do during the day. And that hashtag tool is actually predictive analytic to help you get the most views possible. So check it out. That's what I actually do Monday through Friday and weekends too. So as a founder in a electronics company or tech company, Monday through Friday is kind of a joke, but it is what it is. So enjoy, everybody. I'm around all day if you have questions on this, or if you want to talk about role-playing games. I'm usually pretty open to that discussion as well. So see you soon.